Stop it, Assad. Just stop it. Just stop it. Stop it, Assad. Just stop it. Stop it. Why kill the people? Why just... We're talking Syria, folks. Syria is standing in the middle of a biblical prophecy prophesied by the prophet Isaiah. He explained what's going to be the end result of the city of Damascus in Syria. It's called the burden of Damascus. It will no longer be a city but a ruinous heap. But it's the prophet Jeremiah that breaks it down in the 49th chapter of Jeremiah. In verses 23 through 27, he explains to the detail what you're watching right now. He says it's going to be nasty. It's going to be awful. The young men are going to fall in the streets, and that's because the snipers are shooting them. The people are going to die. The walls of Damascus are going to burn. The palaces are coming down. Assad's kingdom will crumble. Let me read to you what's going on in the news. This is Reuters reporting. Syrian forces have bombarded opposition-held neighborhoods of the city of Homs with rocket and mortar fire on Thursday, and activists said as divided world powers struggle to find a way to end the violence. First of all, why are they divided on this? Well, what is there to be divided about? If you have a man who ran a country for 32 years, he died and handed it over to his son who's run it for 12. So this one family has run this nation for 42 years. And they've snuffed out any opposition that could rise up against them. The people have been oppressed. They finally have had enough and have decided they want to remove Assad. He won't go away. He won't give them a fair election. He won't give them government reform. He has squelched their ability to be a capitalistic society. And they have no choice but rise up against the oppressor and say, go away, go away, go away. He won't go away. He starts firing at them. They fire back and say, go away. And this goes on for a year. How can and during that year, he's killed about 8,000. It's probably closer to 10,000, plus another 4,000 missing. Close to 500 of them are children. We're talking massacring of people. 10,000 of his own soldiers have even defected and joined the people. And they call themselves the Free Syrian Army. And meanwhile, the United Nations try to figure out what they're going to do. And how can the world powers be divided? I mean, what's there to be divided over? You mean to tell me there's people who actually support Assad? Yes. And they're called the Russians and the Chinese. And a few scragglers that are scared of them, like North Korea. And basically, where there's communist regimes, they're supporting Assad. Because Assad represents dictatorship, where the other societies, like the West, and although they're not perfect, and I'm talking about America and the United Kingdom, France and Australia and Canada and Romania and everybody else that's involved, though there is corruption to the highest levels in every one of these capitalistic free enterprise democracies, or republics, if you will, the people still have some sort of a say, even if it's not much. Syrian forces have bombarded the opposition-held neighborhoods of the city of Homs with rocket and mortar fire today, on this Thursday, February the 9th, 2012. Activists said as the divided world powers struggle to find a way to end the violence. But that's a lie. They're not trying to find a way. They can't find a way because they're divided. One side says, look, you got to take this guy out of power. We got to make him go into exile. He's got to stop. The other side says, no. Matter of fact, we're going to support him. He should hammer them home. He should drive them down till they cry uncle. And then smack them again so they never do it again. That's what's going on, folks. Right as we speak in the city of Homs, and I've been watching the video of it, it is tanks, large numbers of tanks, rolling right through the city, firing artillery right into residential neighborhoods for no reason. The United Nations chief has condemned the ferocity of the government assault on Homs, the city of Homs, the heart of a revolt against President Bashar Assad that broke out nearly a year ago and is getting bloodier by the day. Dear God. I fear that the appalling brutality we are witnessing in Homs, with heavy weapons firing into civilian neighborhoods, is a grim reminder of things to come, as UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon told reporters after briefing the Security Council. Activists and residents report hundreds of people killed over the last week as Assad's forces try to stamp out an opposition in Homs. And as dawn broke on Thursday, today, on this February 9, 2012, rocket and mortar fire rained down again on the Bamba Amro and other districts as the armored reinforcements also poured into the eastern city. They're defenseless. The people are just defenseless, and they're being slaughtered mercilessly by a dictatorship monarchy called Assad. Concern was growing over the plight of the civilians, and the United States said it was considering ways to get food and medicine to them, a move that would deepen international involvement in a conflict which has wide geopolitical dimensions and has caused division between the foreign powers. Wow, how can they be divided over the murder of people? How can anyone support Assad? But they are. Turkish foreign minister said before flying to Washington for talks on Syria that Turkey, which once saw Assad as an ally but now wants him out, could no longer stand by and watch. Turkey wanted to host an international meeting to agree to ways to end the killing and provide some aid. It is not enough being an observer, he told the Reuters, though Russia and China have warned against interference. Who cares? Who cares what Russia and China warn about? Who cares? Trust me on this. Just look at me. You go over there and you stop it. Russia won't lift a finger and China won't either. They won't, because it's not a big enough battle. They're waiting to pick their battle. They're not going to go in there and rescue Assad. That would be it's useless to them. But if they can bully, if they can leverage, if they can chest pound, if they can talk big and scare off the believers of freedom, they've won the battle without firing a shot. This is their plan. They're using economic leverage against America. They're using political leverage. And my question is there anybody with any guts that will stand for the innocent? I stand up against the slaughter of the innocent every day. And I come under severe attack, verbal assault, by the haters of America. There are so many people out there who just hate America. And I'll admit, America sometimes has intervened and got involved in things way too long, and nation building, and it doesn't work anyway. And Iraq's a prime example. But to think that you can sit back and let innocent neighborhoods of people be slaughtered and the blood roll through the streets and the snipers shoot anybody that walks out. I mean, they're shooting people in the bread line now. We're not talking about protesting. We're telling you that people are crawling out of blown up buildings searching for bread just to feed the kids back at the house. And snipers who have been strategically placed upon buildings by Assad will shoot anyone. Children, women, men, it doesn't matter. Now, I'm going to come right back. I've actually spent time in prayer this morning over this subject. I've asked God, how can it stop, and who is responsible besides Assad? And he said, every person that watches and never attempts to stop the madman will be held accountable. Every person. So I'm going to do my part, and that is ring it from the highest levels and shout it as loud as I can and pray. Keep praying for Syria.